So when I was a young kid, I remember sitting in class in school. Now, I was kind of a fidgety kid, so sitting might be an understatement. I was probably wiggling around and causing a lot of stress for my teachers. But I remember our teachers saying, "Hey, Tyler, you need to learn this and memorize this so you can get it right on the old Scantron. Can I get a holler for the number 2 pencil?" And I just remember being bored. Well, when I was in 5th grade, I was fortunate enough with Miss Johnson, greatest teacher I ever had. She took a field trip with a bunch of students to Washington, D.C. And for the first time in my life, all these facts and figures that I'd always been told about things that happened in the past suddenly came alive. Like I was able to put my hand on the Washington Monument. I was able to look up at Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial and go, wow, what an amazing man. And I was able to see all these incredible things. It was those stories that just made all of these things come to life for me. So Jesus knew the power of story. In fact, in Matthew 13:34, it says, Jesus told the crowds all these things in parables, and he did not tell them anything without a parable. So you see, well-told stories have a really powerful impact on our lives. So it should come as no surprise that stories that we tell ourselves or we allow others to tell us can also have a very powerful impact on our lives. Maybe you've told yourself, man, I'm just never gonna be good enough to pass that math test. Or maybe it's, hey, I'll just never have the time to go on that mission trip, or my family just doesn't have the means to make that happen. Or maybe it's a story you've told yourself that, man, I'm just not a very fun person to be around. And if you tell yourself that story for long enough and enough times, unfortunately, we begin to believe that it's true because stories are so impactful in our lives. Well, I would challenge you to, instead of listening to those stories that we know aren't true, instead listen to who God says you are. In 2 Timothy 4:17, he says, "The Lord stood by my side and gave me strength." God says you are beautiful. In Ephesians 2:20, I am God's masterpiece. God says you are worthy. Matthew 10:31, I am worth more than many sparrows. God says you're enough. In Psalm 139:14, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And God says you are beloved. In 1 John 3:1, it says, see what great love the Father has lavished on you, that you should be called a child of God. You know, these stories of what God speaks in our life give us hope, give us purpose, give us a mission for life. So don't be afraid to maybe tune out some of those stories. You know, the ones that are saying you're not good enough. Let's push those stories aside and let's listen to the stories that God has put on our lives so that you can live a life of adventure, of wonder, and of hope and of purpose, because that is what God has called us to be.